All right, welcome back in. Just another football show. All right. Talk a little Rams, talk a little Bucs.
Might be the game of the week. Right?
It has the potential. I like most of these matchups, if I'm being honest. Like I think all of these. The odds. Like I don't know how you would judge game of the weekend other than just with your eyes, and maybe we'll have a discussion when we get back together. But I think the betting lines on these are. I mean, at least 3 of the 4 are probably pretty close. Yeah. Probably a little wider on that Titans-Bengals game, but it could happen. It could be a close, good game, So we'll see. But we're here to talk Bucs, Rams. We're gonna get Luke on the line. He's a
longtime Bucs fan.
Yeah, he's been with us for a while. As he
Bucs
points
have never
out.
lost a game.
Well, Frenchie said that for a while too.
Yeah,
I think he said it once and then they lost. So maybe problematic. I don't know.
That's the thing.
I want to say it to Luke.
When you're hot and you're on a streak, you can't talk about it.
You're not supposed to.
Yeah.
Well,
don't
just
discuss
noticing.
it. It's advanced stats.
You don't talk about the no-hitter.
You can't talk about a no-hitter. You can't talk about Fight Club, and you sure as shit can't talk about Bruno.
That's we're just moving on. We're gonna get Luke on the phone. I got no follow-up on that, Jim. Thank you. All right, so it's time to talk to Luke. Luke's OG status. He's been around. He's been talking Bucs with us for a while now.
Day one-ish.
He's been hanging out, doing some Bucs talk. Man, Luke, your team made quick work of the Eagles. Made it look pretty easy. You, if I recall correctly, calm down. You have Tom Brady, right? How's it going?
Oh, well, we did win, and I doubted Tom Brady a little too much. The girlfriend, she was right again. I had the Eagles covering the spread, and the only thing they spread was a bunch of nonsense out there.
Ooh.
And it was looking so easy. And I did not think it was going to be that easy. And we made quick work of them, but it didn't come without a price.
Yeah.
Big T goes down. Oh, my gosh. That hurt.
Yeah, that is a big loss, and that was going to lead me to my next question, or my first question, if you will. At any point in this game, I was screaming at the TV, why is Tom still in there? You lose Tristan Wirfs, you lose his backup, now you're shuffling on an offensive line that was already depleted and missing a couple guys as well, and Brady's getting hit time after time after time. Defenses for the Philadelphia Eagles had really stepped up, dialed up the pressure. It's a game where you're just cruising defensively. Tampa could do no wrong, was just shutting down Philadelphia. I'm going, get Tom out of there. Just fucking bench him. Were you having any of those same feelings as you're watching Brady get hit over and over again?
I was, to a certain extent. But at the same time, I thought, hey, if we're going to have this third stringer in, we're going to have these, the receivers still aren't, what we thought they would be at this point in the year. I was thinking, this is not a time where we're just going to put Blaine Gabbert in there and hand it off to Vaughn or whoever. We got Le'Veon Bell now. I mean, Rojo and Leonard Fournette didn't play. So I thought that, Brady, would I like him to rest? Sure. But at the same time, I do understand wanting to get those guys some burn and just hoping that he can get the ball away fast enough to where he's not getting hit. But man, that Josh Wells, he was in there getting destroyed. I'm like, dude, we got nobody. This is the backup. He was in there. He literally got picked up by Ryan Kerrigan and dumped into Brady's lap.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, we got to get somebody out of here. We got to get Wells out of here, or we got to get Brady out of here. One or the other.
It was a situation where you literally beat a motherfucker with another motherfucker at that point. And it wasn't so much of just a resting Brady. It was every time Brady gets hit, I'm going, is he going to get up? Is he going to get up? Let's see Tom sort of get back up there, because you have those concerns in a playoff game, in a postseason matchup. Offensively, aside from the holes in the O-line and just, Philadelphia just dialing up the pressure and, getting to Brady, you looked really well, especially without playoff Lenny. No Leonard Fournette there, but, the backups, Rojo going pretty well. You guys were looking. Was Rojo not in?
No, Rojo was Vaughn and
okay,
Gio.
yeah, sorry,
Gio was
sorry.
going well.
Gio was looking well.
Gio, that's who it was. It was Gio. You're right.
Yeah, and I think Tom Brady stuck around for those extra couple of drives because Philly scored as they want to do in the fourth quarter. They end up playing very well.
Like Brady almost took it personally.
Yeah, he tapped himself in as opposed to tapping himself out. But what really impressed me with this was outside of the offensive line concern, like you pointed out, Luke, but the depth of this team showed up. Keyshawn Vaughn, Gio Bernard, his first game back after a month, I think, with a MCL sprain. But making do with those guys, and wide receiver core has been in a real weird spot for the last few weeks with Godwin out and Antonio Brown, AB doing what he did. So making do with the other guys, Jalen Darden, Scotty Miller got involved in this game here. Do you think that Tampa has a weak, assuming that Wirfs comes back, right? He's a young guy, should heal fast. Assuming that he comes back, does Tampa Bay have a weakness offensively?
Offensively, I think that our weakness is at receiver, and also with the Rams specifically, our weakness is going to be tight end. And I know you're saying, oh, you got Gronk, but I get it. But we're going to have, if Wirfs is not 100%, we're going to need Gronk in there to help block, because they're going to put, Von Miller, I feel like they'll put him on Donovan Smith because he's not as good as Wirfs. But, Leonard Floyd is not, a bad player, and they could kick out Aaron Donald. Hey, go bull rush this dude on a bad ankle. So we're going to have Gronk in to help block, because he can block just like a tackle, which is he showed us that against Chase Young last year when we played the Washington team in the wild card round. And then we need Gronk to go out and catch passes, because Mike Evans is probably going to be getting clamped all day by Ramsey. So now we got matchup nightmares all over the place. And even though we got good players in good positions, the Rams match up with us so well. It's just like the Saints. They match up with us very good. They have a great coach, and I'm really, really, really nervous going into this game against the Rams next week.
Yeah, this should be a really good one, and I'm looking forward to this weekend's slate of games. I'm hoping they're a hell of a lot better than this last weekend's games. And you talk about this Rams offense, and you've got this guy coming in this way, and then defensively they've got Ramsey most likely matched up with Mike Evans, because that's the guy that's left. You're not putting Ramsey on fucking Scotty Miller. No offense, Scotty Miller, but Ramsey's. He's looking elsewhere for that. On the flip side of things here, defensively trying to cover this Rams offense with all of these weapons and all of this firepower in the secondary. If there's a weakness on this Tampa defense, it's been the secondary. Yes, injury prone. They've had a rough go of things as far as injuries go throughout the season. 21st in the league, giving up 238 yards per game. I love stealing stats from Ryan as he's looking at them. But how do you slow this firepower of a Rams offense that apparently found a running game this last week?
Look, I love player for player our matchup. Just player for player against the Rams. And I know Cooper Kupp is having an amazing year, but I'm sorry, if we can double him, if we put Winfield and Carlton Davis on him every play, I really like our chances. But and Odell, come on. I know he's not washed like everybody said he was, but I like my chances with Jamel Dean with him one-on-one. But player for player, I'll take the Bucs all day, especially considering how Shaq Barrett played the other day, JPP played the other day, Levante played the other day, because they played fresh, which they should have been because they were out for so long, all of them. And they came back looking real good, making splash plays. And player for player, I love our chances. But football is not just players. The players play, but the coaches coach. And I have a lot of respect for Sean McVay. Just the way that he gets the most out of everybody on his offense. He's always done it ever since he got to the Rams. he's gotten the most out of Jared Goff. He's gotten the most out of what's the running back? Not Gurley, because Gurley was, good no matter what.
Cam
until he got washed
Akers.
real fast. And Cam Akers. There's another guy from last year.
Darrell
Was
Henderson.
that fat guy? I forgot the fat guy that played for the Broncos, Anderson or something.
Oh yeah, C.J. Anderson.
I mean, he just gets the most out of all his players, and he does it because he can scheme them open so well. And so player for player, I love the Bucs' chances, but for a scheme, I gotta lean McVay as a better offensive mind than Todd Bowles is a defensive mind. And, so that makes me a little nervous because I don't want us to get out coached. If it was just players, I'd take us all day. But there's the coaching factor, and I got a lot of respect for McVay, and that's what's got me worried about Sunday.
Yeah, and something you said to answer my question very quickly off the gate, but it instantly triggered another question in me, was you said if we can double up Cooper Kupp. And that's worrisome because you mentioned him right after you said Cooper Kupp. You got an Odell Beckham out there. Tyler Higbee has played phenomenally the last couple games. Even Van Jefferson is a guy that quietly under the radar has played very good for this Rams team. Is a guy that I like to put money on for any time touchdown in a football game because that's usually going to happen. If you give Cooper that sort of attention, you're opening up so much for the rest of those guys. How do you manage to contain Cooper Kupp but also shut down the rest of that defense or offense, excuse me?
Well, I'm fine with just taking away their best thing, which is Kupp, and then making everybody else beat you. If we lose in the playoffs and Van Jefferson goes off for a bunch of yards and Higbee goes off for a bunch of yards, but we can stop Cooper Kupp because we know Cooper Kupp can beat you. I mean, the Rams did it last year when they played us. It was Robert Woods and Kupp. They had like 55 combined points on fantasy, I remember, because I played against them and lost because they both went off. So I know that Cooper Kupp can beat me, but I don't know that those other guys can beat me. I'll take my chances with those guys. And then it's all, it all starts with stopping the run with the front seven, which I think we can do. Especially with, because Shaq Barrett and JPP, they're known for getting after the passer, but they're such complete players. They both play the run very well. And if we can stop the run without having to commit another safety down the box, which would be Jordan Whitehead, and we can stop Cooper, not even stop Cooper Kupp, if we can just contain Cooper Kupp, then I really like our chances because I'm not the biggest Matt Stafford fan. In the biggest moment, I don't know, is he ready with the solo stage? I know you had the solo stage on Monday Night Football, but come on, that was a Mickey Mouse Monday Night Football. I shouldn't have a Monday Night Football in the playoffs. Are you kidding me? And so I like our chances. If we can stop Kupp first and everybody else beats us through the air, I can live with that. I can say, hey, we did what we were supposed to do. We stopped their best guy first, and then their backups beat our other guys. If that happens, I'm okay with that. But I think we do got a good chance, but it comes down to the coaching, and the coaching is what scares me for the Rams because I got so much respect for McVay.
Yeah, first of all, I agree with your Monday Night Football wildcard weekend opinion there, so we're 1 for 1 on that. And then your rightful criticism, I think, of Matt Stafford. He's shown that he is prone.
You're preaching to the choir on hate for Matthew Stafford.
He is prone to the big mistake, and I think
being a gag artist is what he's prone to being. There we go.
I think the Bucs front seven, like you said, they can stop the run. They can get after him well. That's something that the Bucs have been good at. I said but the Bucs have been good at. I think the linebacking core is fantastic there with Devin White and Levante being back, and getting pressure with Ford, stopping the run with Vita Vea and Ndamukong Suh. Like I think there's a lot of good stuff here for how Tampa defense stops most of the offense, but I'm with you where the Cooper Kupp is a little bit scary there, but safeties, corners have been playing very well the last couple of weeks. So I'll take that. I'll take that matchup there. And then the biggest thing that worries me is the Wirfs injury, right? Tom Brady can dissect anyone. There's actually a lot of connections between this game. Raheem Morris, former Bucs head coach, and Ndamukong Suh, former Ram. McVay was started off with Tampa Bay under John Gruden. So I think there's just a lot of little storylines within this game to watch, but the only thing you'll really need to watch is how Tom Brady plays, right? Like, Tom Brady's there, number one passing offense in the league, most pass yards per game. Is there a way that the Rams stop Tom Brady?
Yeah, I mean, the way that the Rams are going to stop Brady is they got offensively, or I should say defensively for the Rams, they have the matchups that they want. I mean, in my opinion, the Rams have no excuse not to shut down the Bucs offense because they have the best corner, in my opinion. I mean, kind of not really debatable, but I mean, in my opinion, the best corner in the league against Mike Evans. And Mike Evans is a very good receiver. I mean, he's legit, but man, come on, with the number one corner on the league. But Mike Evans has had success on Ramsey historically, you know, and so I'm not too worried about Mike Evans getting Marshawn Lattimore where he has like one catch in the whole game. I think Mike Evans will have, you know, a decent game, but then with the matchups, I mean, the Rams can, you know, it took the Rams a while defensively to get it all right, especially after they got Von Miller. Everybody was talking about how they were going to be a superpower, and it took a little bit to come to fruition, but I mean, they really dumped on Kyler Murray, you know, the other night. So they definitely have the good matchups, you know, especially if Wirfs is not 100%, then they're going to have to take away Gronk to help him block, and then we're going to be in a lot of trouble. And that's assuming that we can't run the ball. I know that's, you know, not a fair assumption to just assume that, hey, Leonard Fournette's not going to be able to run the ball, because I think Leonard Fournette's a real good player. But if we become one-dimensional and the Rams get to pin their ears back, I don't like our chances at all. I mean, that really scares me. But if this is going to be, whoever wins this game is going to earn it. They're going to have to play a lot of complimentary football. Special teams is going to have to be really sound. We got Matt Gay on the Rams who missed game winner with the Bucs against the Giants. I mean, ruining a Mike Evans masterclass. He had like 48 fantasy points. I mean, come on. Anyway, that's old news. I'm not going to get worked up over that.
That's another connection there, though.
But you're right about the connections, man. And Raheem Morris, I mean, give me a break. That guy was such a bum. Oh, my gosh, he was such a bum.
But he was young and exciting.
I mean, this game is going to be, I mean, whoever wins is going to really earn it. They're going to really deserve to win it, I think. And they're going to go on to hopefully play the 49ers, because I'm a big Rodgers hater. So I'm really hoping that they can win it at plus 220 money line. I hope they can pull through.
If the Rams win it, I hope you're right.
Definitely.
I'm a Niners fan, man. I would love to see a NFC Championship game where we just get that team again.
Because we
dominate that team. But
well,
yeah.
Luke, you talked
I don't think it's going to happen. Spoiler alert for the predictions episode coming on Friday. I don't think it's going to happen, but if it gets there, who knows?
Well, Luke, you talked about what it would take to win this game. So here it is. Tell me how this game goes and give me a final score and who's winning.
Oh, man, I always hate
toughest
you
part.
guys. So, look, man, this is my theory, all right? The Rams have owned us. The Brady Bucs are owned by the Rams. The matchups are so good for the Rams. In my opinion, the Rams are better coached. But, hey, my girlfriend, like she says, we got Tom Brady. And the other day, she made a parlay at plus 780 for the Bucs, and it hit her first bet ever made. And she says we got Tom Brady, and she's hitting plus 780 parlays, and she wins fantasy. I got to go with her prediction. We got Tom Brady. So I don't know what the score is going to be, but I'm putting my money on Tom Brady again, and that's all I got to say about
Maybe
that.
If the Bucs win, we talk to her next week, huh?
Honestly, if you guys have a betting episode, and then she made a parlay for the Steelers Chiefs at plus 800, and I changed one of the bets, and it lost.
Nope.
She was going to go 2 for 2.
Yeah. You
She's
said
better
plus
gambler than
700,
me.
and you got Ryan's attention.
Yeah,
He wants to talk to
That's
her.
my sweet spot.
We've all come to the conclusion, me and all my buddies, she's better at fantasy than us, and she's a better gambler than us. and it's a shame to admit it. But she says you got Tom Brady. I say I got Tom Brady too.
Hey,
I'm picking the Bucs.
Let her win that money, man. Let's go.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, if you're right in the Bucs roll, we'll be getting a hold of you again next week, man. You know how this works.
Sounds good.
You've rolled through the playoffs with us before.
Hey, hey, the Bucs are undefeated in the playoffs since I've been here.
It's true.
I'm liking my chances.
All right.
That's advanced stats right there.
Yeah.
It is. It sure is.
Screw the Brady effect.
Yeah.
It's the Luke effect.
There we go. All right, man. We appreciate you taking the time. We'll talk at you later.
All right, boys. Stay safe, all right? I'll talk to you guys next week, hopefully.
Have a good one.
Thanks, Luke.
You too, guys. Bye.
All right. So now we're gonna talk to Nicholas. I don't know how your evening went watching the old Monday Night Football, but I imagine it went better than some other people that we've talked to. Wins is wins. Look good. Moving on. How's it going, man?
Hey, man, it's going, man. Yeah, gotta say that was it was great watching that game. Felt good. Looked good.
They did look good.
Yeah, it felt good, looked good. Did you watch the whole thing all the way through, or was there a certain point where you were just like, we got this, I'm going to bed early?
Oh, no, I enjoyed every second of it.
I figured you'd say that. I assumed you'd say that. My wife's a Rams fan, and she was the same way. Down for start to finish every minute. There's one sort of question I want to get out here early is Rams made this look easy. We're able to dictate the pace, do what they wanted to do, play Rams football, and sort of did a little bit differently. Matthew Stafford only attempted 9 passes in the first half of this football game. It was very much run heavy. Welcome back, Cam Akers. You rested all season on a broken Achilles, but you look better than ever coming out here. There was no adversity in this game, and that's my big thing looking at this Rams team coming up against the game with the Bucs. What's going to happen to this Rams team, this offense, when they get popped in the mouth once? You know, what's Stafford going to look like when he gets hit a couple times and then has to come back out and play? Is there any of that in the back of your mind still after their performance Monday night?
Of course, you can't expect that easy of a win every game, and especially with an experienced team like the Buccaneers with a more experienced MVP candidate like Tom Brady. That's always going to be in the back of your mind, is that how is it going to be? How are we going to react when we face a much, much tougher opponent? And I think that as long as Stafford does, did what he did in this last game, was cool, calm, collect, kept it together, and really focused on these smart plays, I would call them, and trusted his teammates more, it should be going well. And I think Stafford, I think if he continues to just play the ball right, I think he'll be all right. I don't expect him to go all out like he did last time we faced him, but I think if anything, it's going to be our defense again to win this game.
Yeah, I look at the way this game was sort of scripted from Sean McVay and an offensive game plan going into this one. It was make it easy on Matthew Stafford. Maybe make it to where he's not thinking about that. All the chatter was, here's the guy that's got the most wins, the most yards, or whatever it was for never winning a playoff game in NFL history. And he finally got off that list. He got that one playoff game. And they sort of made it simple on him to do so. They relied heavily on the run. Game script went in that favor. They were able to make great play calls. You saw them having some fun with letting Odell throw the football. Stafford sort of found Odell in this game, and that was a great turnout for them as well. So they sort of were able to make it fail-proof for Matthew Stafford. Get that first playoff notch in his belt, under him. And now, are they coming in here confident? Are they excited? Are they happy? Or were they sort of like looking at that one, okay, everything's going into this one victory from a Matthew Stafford standpoint, and now he's got that, and how do you stay motivated and focused?
Momentum will keep us focused and motivated for sure. I think these last 5 to 6 games, we've really been on a roll and really come together. And even this, when we lost to the Niners, we were still getting it going, but we just couldn't finish it. And this last game just showed that even that loss didn't really bring us down. For the first time since the first half of the season, I could say that we were a well-oiled running machine, and it felt like everybody was just clicking, both offense and defense, and even special teams. It felt like we're clicking too.
Yeah, it felt like the most complete game I've seen from the Rams most of the season, right? We didn't see the Stafford issues there, but at the same time, it was a team that you saw twice in the year already, had a little bit of experience with. I think that the Cardinals were just not wanting to be there, it felt like, really. And now you're not at home, you're in Tampa, right? And going to be, I don't know, weather or anything like that, but last week in Tampa it was raining, it was windy, everything like that. Less than perfect, less than ideal conditions. Do you think this team is still going to want to stick to the run game? We saw it working very well against the Cardinals, but now you're going up against a Tampa team who is the third best rushing defense in the league, allowing under 100 yards per game. Do you think that's kind of the new mentality that the Rams have for the playoffs, or do you think it was just kind of a one-off for the Cards?
Part of me says, yeah, we're going to continue with the run game, but another part of me says I hope we switch it up a bit because it's a bit predictable. A lot of people know that McVay likes to run first then pass, and I feel, a coach like Arians is going to expect that. The good thing is, though, that they don't know who we're going to run with. So we can either, have a powerhouse runner like Michelle go down the middle, or we can have Speedy Akers go down the side. But when in doubt, when you can't throw the bombers, go trust in Higbee. Those short passes he can get away from for a couple more yards, is kind of like the Cooper Kupp moves. And, I think that'll come through, and you'll be seeing a lot of that for sure.
I was sort of taken back when I'm watching this game Monday night, and I'm watching what Tyler Higbee's able to do. And I'm hearing the Monday night broadcast mention the fact that you guys lost a tight end at some point throughout the season. And they're like, well, they're losing him, they're missing him. And I'm going, what? Tyler Higbee has been the guy. He's been there all season long. Why is he sort of forgotten as far as one of these great tight ends?
I think it's because he kind of fell off a bit on the receptions, but a lot of people, what they seem to forget is that Tyler Higbee, and not just him, but all our receivers, not only can catch and run, but they can block, and that's what really helps our run game. And I think if you just notice on most of those runs, you'll either see Higbee block immediately, like if he was a lineman, and then you'll see Cooper Kupp block a bit on the outside.
Yeah, it's interesting if I look at this team has played the last 3 years in a row. Tampa won the first one. LA's had the last two in a row. So there's a familiarity there, and if talking to a Rams fan, you talk about history against the team, that's going to come up, what we can do against these guys, what we've done against these guys. The Cardinals game was sort of wonky because you won one, lost one, so a split on the season there. How do you stay focused? How do you keep that going, knowing that it's the Tampa team, but it's the Tampa team that you've got the best of the last two times that you face them. The only two times that you've met Tom Brady in a Bucs uniform, you've got the better of him. How do you stay focused on the task at hand?
It's difficult because, we've beaten the Bucs before, but at the same time, this is a different team during postseason or during the the playoffs, and this is a Tom Brady that's beaten the Rams before. So it's really hard to say. And as far as staying focused, I think we're just going to have to just go all out and play our game. And I think what's going to help us too was, if I remember correctly, they have a couple injuries on their offensive line. And if we played like we did against Arizona, it's going to be a tough game for Brady. And that's the only way that we can beat Brady, is to keep the ball away from him. And thank goodness that we're getting back I believe Joseph Day and also Ernest Jones, our rookie. That's been just a standout.
Yeah, Nicholas, you took the next question literally right out of my mouth. I was going to talk about those injuries that the Bucs have on the offensive line, and if you watch that game with Philadelphia, how many times they were able to put Tom Brady on his ass. You've got, arguably in my mind, the greatest football player on that defense in Aaron Donald. coming across the front, and that defensive line is so good from top to bottom, not just Aaron Donald, but he gets all the notoriety from there. So those guys have to be looking and sort of salivating at the opportunity to disrupt Tom, and that's how you beat Tom Brady. Not necessarily the Bucs or the Patriots, but that's just how you beat Tom, is to fluster him.
I agree. Yeah, and I think it's going to be a big help. When Joseph Day went out, we had Greg Gaines step up, and he's been phenomenal. I mean, just absolutely a monster going down the middle. And he did it again, chasing Murray a few times. And because of that, I think we're going to be able to keep the nose tackle position pretty fresh, switching both those guys back and forth. And that should be able to help Aaron Donald get there. But another X factor I think we have is Von Miller. He's a speedy guy that can handle the outside pretty well. And on the other side, you have Floyd. So I think we'll be able to pressure Brady a lot and, get him pretty frustrated and make some mistakes.
Yeah, Von's come on a lot lately.
Yeah, looking at this this game compared to the last time they played, I think, week 3 back in September, but it's almost like two entirely different teams. This Bucs team no longer has Chris Godwin. He's out. We don't know about the status of Leonard Fournette or Ronald Jones. We don't know what really is going on there. But on the opposite side, the Rams, we had a huge game from Deshaun Jackson in that game. He's a Raider sitting on home watching his couch now. And obviously, Robert Woods went down in that game as well. But now you have OBJ, you have Von Miller, you have Cam Akers back. So are these things, are we going to see the same type of game, or are we looking at two entirely different teams here?
Without Ronald Jones or Fournette, I expect Gronk to just go all out. And we have an issue with guarding down the middle. So we're going to really have to step it up on our middle linebackers, even our safeties. We're going to have to keep an eye on him. He's going to be an issue, I feel. And as far as the offense goes, I think that Cooper Kupp is going to continue to shine along with Higbee. Van Jefferson, people kind of forget about him. And it happened again this last game. And he gets open and he gets some yards out there.
That is great respect from an opposing fan to mention Van Jefferson. Or no, you're a fan of Van Jefferson.
Yeah, you've been bringing up.
Yeah, I've been touting Van Jefferson left and right because I love what he's done, and he always is seemingly catching a touchdown one way or the other. That's one of my favorite bets to hammer is the Van Jefferson anytime touchdown. So I'm glad that you brought that up. Yes, he's played great down the stretch, and we talked to our Tampa fan who was, well, if we shut down Cooper Kupp, that's pretty good. And I'm like, well, if you shut down Cooper Kupp, it leaves Odell, it leaves Van Jefferson, it leaves Higbee, and all these other guys out there available to do things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you go ahead and double team Cooper Kupp all day. I hope they do, because I think they underestimate Van Jefferson. They're like, well, he's not really a powerhouse. He drops a lot of passes, but he gets open. And another one they underestimate is Odell Beckham, and they continue to underestimate him, saying that he's kind of a diva, he's kind of toxic to the team. He's been outstanding, and he's a veteran. He's smart out in the field. His IQ is off the charts, and he's really come through. And I hope he returns, actually.
Yeah, I've always been an OBJ guy, and the Browns thing didn't work out. We can ponder why at another time. I think it's a pretty simple answer. But since he's been a Ram, he has been productive. At game 1, he was productive. It wasn't a ton of production, but he was productive. Mm-hmm. So I think it adds a wrinkle that this team didn't have, even when,
and he can throw. So cool.
Even when Robert Woods is, and those are different kind of guys than OBJ and Robert Woods are different kind of guys. But getting OBJ and right as Robert Woods went down, same day I believe, has been a good continuity for Matthew Stafford. Only thing I worry about, and I think Rams fans would agree, is get a little bit of bad Matthew Stafford at time, get some pick sixes, get something like that, interceptions. He's going to throw that, but it's going to be an interesting one. And as we've talked about a couple of times. The Rams have beat the Tampa Bay's last 2 years. They have the Bucs, the Brady Bucs number somehow. Mm-hmm. But Nicholas, looking at this game, looking how it's going to go, going over what we talked about. How do you think the game flow goes, and then who wins, and what is the final score of this game on Sunday?
Well, I think if we play it smart and do some play actions, we'll be able to hold on to the lead towards the end. I think, if anything, the Bucs will score first. I just have that much respect for that offense. They'll score first. I even predict them to score twice in there, and then we go down 14-0 and we come back to win it 32-30.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I think it looks like it's going to be a really good game. Last weekend we had some not so good games. I think we got 4 really good ones here, and this one might be the best of the bunch just because we got Tom Brady. We got the high-powered Rams. We have a lot of familiarity, a lot of crossover between the teams, and it's setting up nicely.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Should be fun. All right, Nicholas, man. Well, if your team gets that W, we'll be bugging you to give us a call and talk to us again next week.
I hope it's that way, man. I'll enjoy this.
Should be a good one, man. Thanks for the time.
All right, have a good one, guys.
You too.
Thanks, Nicholas.
All right, that's a game.
Yeah.
We're rolling through them, guys.
I am nervous about this one. As a Bucs fan, I am nervous about this one.
You should be.
This
Yeah.
could be a good one.
Like Luke made some really good points, and Nicholas is very confident in his team as well. I think I was cruising before, and then we talked to both of them. I'm like, well, maybe not so much.
I, for one, playing long term, like looking ahead, if we beat the Packers, I want Rams to win this game. I want that matchup.
Yeah.
Give me that matchup.
Boring NFC Championship game that would be.
Oh yeah, because the last one was so terrible.
It was different.
Didn't you love that last one?
I enjoyed it, right? But it was because they had to get into the playoffs.
Just gotta make some
Now
bets.
you have to get into the Super Bowl.
Yeah, well.
Just gotta make some.
What's
bets.
better?
If the Bucs are out, I don't care.
Yeah, if the Bucs are out.
That's
Yeah,
not true.
you're a full Niners fan at that point.
All right, that's going to do it for this one. Make sure you guys are checking out all these fan previews. We have a lot of fun doing them, talking to actual fans and getting their feedback and sort of picking their brains before we make our picks.
Letting it sway us.
Yeah, and then make sure you're joining us on Friday on the podcast feeds. We're gonna go over our over/under picks for the season. Have a little fun with that. Maybe a couple other things, and then pick all these games, 4-score it out, and tell you who we think's going to be playing in the championship conference championship games. All right, guys, anything else before we get the hell out of this one?
No, I think we're good.
All right, cool. All right, so until the next time that you're listening, make sure you're checking them all out. We really appreciate it. This has been Just Another Football Show.
Bye.
See ya.
That's one.